Hi, everybody. Great to see you this afternoon. I'm Julie Cober, and I am here with Jane Warr, who is the CEO and founder of Selling on the Spot Marketplace. And I'm so excited to talk with Jane today. I'm honored that I get to interview her, and we're going to be talking a little bit about entrepreneurship. So for those of you that don't know me, again, my name is Julie Cober, and I lovingly refer to myself as a corporate dropout turned entrepreneur going all out. And I'm currently building an online global health and wellness business where I'm a passionate brand ambassador with Arbonne International. And Jane, as I just referred to, is the CEO and founder of Selling on the Spot Marketplace, which is the #1 networking, sales, training, and marketplace in North America. Jane is an international speaker and a very experienced, seasoned sales and communication trainer, and she's affectionately known as Trainer Jane. So I'm so honored to be able to talk to you today, Jane, and get some tips and tricks and pros and cons just about entrepreneurship in general. Being a new entrepreneur myself, coming out of 20 plus years in the corporate world, there's still lots of questions that I have. So I have a few that I want to ask you today.
Sure.
And hopefully what my goal or my intention of this interview is that whoever is watching will be able to pick up some just great things to do or early in their career as an entrepreneur, or things maybe not to do from all your learning. So if you're okay with that, we can just kind of jump into the interview, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all your feedback and all your information.
Sure, and thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it, Julie.
Oh no, on my honor for sure. Okay, so maybe we can start with you telling us how long you've been an entrepreneur.
Great question. Pretty much my entire life, actually. As a child, I delivered newspapers. And by the time I was a teenager, I was an Avon distributor.
Oh, really? Love it. Network marketing.
That's right. That's right. So I've pretty much been self-employed in one way or another my entire life. The one time I had a job, it was a job in the way that I signed an employment agreement, but even in my role, I had to find all my customers. I was paid on commission. So I still had the same kind of feeling and mentality of someone that was self-employed, because I had to make my own commitments and set my own goals to then achieve, or else I wouldn't have gotten a paycheck.
So yeah, you were pretty much an entrepreneur in a corporate environment.
Yes.
Or had to, operate that way.
That's right. Yes, absolutely.
Huh. And so that was going to be my next question. So have you ever done anything else in your career outside of entrepreneurship? So obviously you have. I'd love to hear more about that. Like what kind of, was it in the middle of your journey, towards the end? And did you just need something different, or what kind of transpired where you wanted to go and do something different?
Yeah, great question. No problem.
Maybe not different, but a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I went to school actually for accounting and thought that that's what I was going to do for my whole life. And even then I expected to do that in a self-employment, way from home, because my intention was getting married and having kids. And that is what I did. And I chose not to go stay with my accounting field. I instead got into a health and nutrition company, again, was self-employed. And unfortunately, we ended up getting separated and divorced. And it was at that time where I kind of had to reinvent myself and look at what I wanted to do next in my life. My kids were older, so they were in school all day. So I could kind of reinvent myself and decided to go into health and fitness. And that's how I got into that job that I mentioned, and worked at a company where I worked my way up to management there as well. And loved the role in a lot of ways. I definitely did that for the sake of learning whatever I could, whatever I believed all these roles were going to give me. And quite frankly, I knew that I loved the people aspect. I didn't love the managing aspect. I didn't love sitting at a desk in a tiny, tiny dark office, knowing that I could be interrupted all day, every day, by everybody that was outside my door. And at some point we needed to part our ways. I was there 5 solid years.
Wow.
And around that time, or that is why Trainer Jane was born. Trainer Jane was born pretty much minutes after the day I walked out from there.
That's
I
awesome. So
knew
it
what
was
I
meant
wanted
to
to do
be.
next.
It was absolutely, so that was great. It was meant to be then.
Yeah, oh, I believe. Absolutely, I believe.
Huh. I love your take on wanting to learn in
Mhm.
every role that you're in,
Mhm.
right? That's awesome. And I love what you said too about entrepreneurship in a corporate environment because, I was in corporate for 20 plus years or more, 25 years. And you're right. Like the most successful people in corporate treat their job or their department or wherever it is they work as if it's their own.
Mhm.
And I coached a lot of people in my career that way, like treat it like it's your own business, right? Whether they were leaders of departments or whatever. And those were leaders that flourished in the corporate. So that's kind of interesting that you said that.
Mhm.
Okay, so tell us, what do you love most about being an entrepreneur?
I love that there are no 2 days alike. I don't
Mm.
think I have 2 hours that are alike sometimes. I live by my calendar.
Mhm.
Love that I get to choose what I do and who I'm working with. So there is that element of freedom for sure,
Mhm. Mhm.
including meaning that, if and when I can visit my daughter, then as long as my laptop is with me, then I can work from where she lives as well. It's that freedom to work from wherever and whenever I want to.
That I love that answer because that is the same reason I went into this. So again, 25 plus years being in corporate and then deciding to do something on your own because there was just no time freedom, right? You're right. You're tied to their schedule, travel, whatever. But so many entrepreneurs have told me, yeah, like I just work from my phone or my laptop. So yeah, or if there's a crisis in the family, maybe somebody gets sick. I mean, my dad passed away 2 years ago, and I ran my business from his hospital room while that was happening, right? So I was able to keep that going while I was dealing with a family emergency. So I think that's a big piece of entrepreneurship, right? Is really having, not that they don't work hard. I think they work 10 times harder than people in corporate, to be honest with you. Like you said, there's no 2 days the same and they work long hours, but they do it where they want.
Sure. Yeah. Even
And
now I am in my home office,
yeah,
but even though I'm at home working from home most days right now, if the weather's beautiful, which it has been, I'm working from the backyard.
yeah,
Or I
I
might be
know.
sitting in my living room because I have a wonderful, beautiful window, and I love that being what's helping inspire me when I'm working.
Right, right.
Even the
Yeah,
flexibility of where in my home I'm working.
right, right, exactly. That's awesome. So how about what you would say you like the least of being an entrepreneur? There's got to be something, right?
Um, well, I guess if I like it the least, I mean, there are challenges, and I find often, if not all the time, challenges are communication challenges. I
Mm.
also believe that's why I became a communications trainer and an expert in the field because those challenges inspired me. I came from a family that I think is not unlike many, where, there's things that you liked about your childhood, things that you wished were a little bit different, and whether that's parents, whether that's school, whatever, all the different influences on us. But those affect us and those create who we become as adults, and we have choices along the way. So that is a
Right.
big part of why I studied communications as long as I did, quite frankly, to heal my own self
Hmm.
from the different things that happened to me and to get through my limiting beliefs, that sort of thing. So there, of course, are daily communication challenges, especially when you're interacting with so many individuals. But at the
Hmm.
same time, I love that. I thrive to improve those relationships and choose to look at how can we move forward, whether it's
Hmm.
in a personal relationship or in a professional relationship, in a ethical way or in a comfortable way so that we're preserving the relationship or improving the relationship at all times.
That's awesome. And I think, you know what? There's always elements of everybody's job that they probably don't like, even in your personal life, right? Like I don't love paying the bills. I don't love doing filing my bill, that kind of thing. But you do it and you make fun of it, or make fun from it, or you try to find the positives in it, like you're saying, right? Which is
Yeah, again,
awesome.
attitude and mindset is all about it, right? You can choose to be happy doing it, you can choose to be unhappy doing it.
Right.
Which do you want to choose?
Exactly. but in the end, it's got to get done, right? So
Exactly. So why not be happy while you're doing it?
exactly. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit here. So for somebody watching here today that might be sitting on the fence, perhaps is really fearful. They've got this big dream. They've wanted to do something in the entrepreneur world for years, and they're just really fearful about starting their own business for whatever reason that is. What advice would you give to them?
Several things definitely pop to mind. Take some time to learn and to research, but don't let yourself be stuck there and not moving forward, because being in action and learning, like failing forward, even making mistakes, but learning and growing through them. So don't not be in action. There's so many people that will say, oh, I'm still working on my website, or no, I can't go to selling on the spot marketplace. I don't know what to say yet. I don't have business cards yet. And it's like, well, you don't need them. You are your business. You know why you're passionate about what you do and what you want to bring forward. You know what your products and services are. So make sure that you are in action and not fearful of that. Adding to that, of course, have trainers, have coaches, have mentors, have a community. So again, you realize that we all go through that. No matter what level of business we're in, it's still great to have coaches, not just one. Coaches. I have several, and mentors and friends, so that you're in that positive atmosphere. And again, optimistic, thinking of abundance. I believe in abundance and prosperity and manifesting, positivity, all of that. So it's a great a group to look for that can help lift you up and hold you up, especially when you're new and young to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and that's awesome advice, because speaking from myself being a recovering perfectionist, I was very much like that. I would never jump into anything until I sort of had all my ducks in a row. And you'll paralyze yourself, right? Because first of all, you never have all your ducks in a row. And that's one thing I love about Arbonne, and probably most network marketing companies, is you learn as you're going along. We say it in the business, you learn as you earn. And because you just don't know everything, right? And that's the same as corporate too. I mean, we learn as we go along, and you just have to jump in. And the other thing, I'm going to put a plug in here for your platform, because honestly, when I first heard about selling on the spot marketplace, I was so intrigued with the model. And I went to the first live one. It was at the January of this year, right before COVID hit. So now we're, of course, all online, but with Heather DeSanto and Aurora. And it was just, it's an amazing format for what you just said: meeting coaches, meeting mentors, meeting other people that have gone through the same thing, maybe are a little bit ahead of you. So I would recommend to people that are new to maybe attend one, just so that you can start connecting. Even if you don't know what to say, you don't know how to present your business, whatever, just from the networking perspective alone, it's totally worth it.
Thank you. Thank you. We're definitely considered networking. And similar to what you said earlier, we say learn and earn, right? Because we are considered part sales training. That's the learning. You're always going to learn something from what we say, whether it's me as the facilitator at that event, or one of my other licensees or franchisors. And but there is earning, because we teach you how to, not only how to sell, but how to sell on the spot right then. Right? Why be a business owner and only network? Why not talk, clearly and concisely introduce yourself, present what your offer is that day, and ask for the sale. That's how you close the sales. Again, any industry, any product, any service, or even a free consultation, for example. It's whatever you're asking for is what we offer people. So yes, please join us at Selling on the Spot Marketplace.
Yeah, I've learned so much, for sure. It's totally worth it. So as a new entrepreneur.
Well, I'm going to jump in there. You've learned and you've earned.
I have learned and I've earned. You are right. You are 100% right. Now, I'll tell you, a mistake I made was, I'm a big picture thinker, right? So I came in with, my offers were way too big and probably overwhelming, because we sell systems at Arbonne, right? We have skin care systems, or healthy living systems. And I've learned since then to take one of our products, one of our 450 products that are awesome, and just present it that day. And maybe the next time I go, it'll be another one of my 450. But And so that has just been a game changer. And I learned that through this platform and the
Oh,
people.
good. And I love that you say that, because one of the common misconceptions about selling on the spot is that we're only about selling, as if we're only about money. And it's like, no, we're actually about relationship building and
Yes.
relationship selling. So
Right.
yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because yes, it's easier for somebody to start the relationship with you by saying yes to a small price point offer,
Right.
especially if they haven't tried Arbonne yet and don't know you yet.
Right.
So a small
Exactly.
price point is easy for them to commit to. You start building a relationship with them, giving them great customer service. And then, when they need more, or you can make a bigger offer, then you
Yeah.
move them forward on the customer journey, as it's called. And otherwise come back to another selling on the spot marketplace. And again, make another lower ticket offer. And again, it doesn't even have to be the same offer,
Right.
right? Because you can have a lower price point skincare item one time,
Yeah.
the nutrition product
There
another
could
time.
be a deal that we were offering across all of Arbonne that month, or whatever.
Absolutely. Great idea.
Right.
Great
Yeah.
idea. And then it makes it fun and interesting for you too. You get to make a different offer each time.
Yes. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. I like that, because then I can practice my presentation and how I want to put that forward, and what because obviously every product has different bells and whistles attached to it, or what it's going to do for
Sure.
you, value proposition, right?
Sure. And
Yeah.
at the same time, you might see some familiar faces that have been
Yes.
on the events at the same time as you in the past, in which case they're going to get to know your product line. So that's another thing that we definitely see at Selling on the Spot Marketplace is maybe you come that day and you're offering skincare, and then when we allow for questions and answers, somebody will say, well, but can I also order the nutrition products from you today?
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Say yes.
Yeah. Or I
How's
have
that
this
sale
ailment. Yeah, I have this going on. Do you have something for that? And we're like, yes, let's connect. Right.
Perfect.
I would say that since I've been joining the events since January, that's been the biggest thing for me. Definitely I've earned, but the connections that I've made, I think, are going to be lifelong. And I've bought tons of stuff as well that's been great for me as well and my family. So it's just been a win-win for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, it's connections, it's collaborations, it's referrals,
Mhm.
it's testimonials, it's all of that. It's all business, right?
Yeah.
That's all a part of being an entrepreneur or a small business owner, which are the main two demographics that come to our events.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So now let's jump a little bit. So we have a new entrepreneur. They've jumped in, they're swimming in the pool like crazy. They're learning, they're doing all the things, and maybe they're becoming a little overwhelmed. How would you help someone in that situation transform? What advice would you give them for next steps to, I always say you can't boil the ocean, right? So
Sure. Well, I
that's one of
find
my
that,
little antidotes.
sure, yeah. I find that many entrepreneurs or business owners are going to have different reasons, that they're different blocks.
Hmm.
And again, that goes back to mindset more than anything. I find that somebody's business challenges are all stemmed by a personal
Hmm. I totally agree.
challenge. So,
Totally agree.
yes, because it's all what's going on in our own heads in the first
Uh-huh.
place, right? How we show up, how our own self-talk, our own
Hmm.
self-doubt, whatever we want to call it today, is going to either help us or hinder us in business, and it's going to show up in that way. So one of the many ways that we offer, I mean, my short answer would be to say, keep coming to our events. You're building your authority by showing up, by being seen as the leader in your field, and people will start getting more comfortable with you and having trust with you, that sort of thing, which will therefore get you out of some of your blocks. But at the same time, I'm excited to say that we also recently launched Selling on the Spot media training, which has a phenomenal mindset training package in it. And for those of your viewers that don't know, I recently collaborated with Forbes Riley, and it is a program that her and I proudly put together and bring to the Selling on the Spot global community. So briefly, what that is about, Forbes Riley herself has sold $2.5 billion worth of products in her career, talking to the camera.
And that's billion with a B, everyone.
Billion with a B. As if
Yeah.
million wouldn't be impressive,
No,
but
I know. I'd
billion.
be probably, yeah, but it's a billion. Yeah.
So she brings a phenomenal expertise, obviously, in regards to how to show up on camera. And especially right now, we are 100% online, most of
Yeah,
us.
every day, all day, right?
Exactly. And even if we weren't, even if this was our selling on the spot marketplace in-person events, which we'll eventually get back to some of them in some locations, then it's still who are you and how you show up. What are the words you are saying? What are the emotions that you are conveying and getting from the other person? Because you want them to be, I like to say, interested in what you are speaking about, then informed about what you are offering when you're making your offer, but then to also make the call to action to inspire them to take a next step with you. And similarly, but differently, then Forbes Riley would say to excite, engage, and enroll somebody. So her and I mean the exact same thing. It's all about bringing people's energy. So again, mindset. If you're not in the right mindset, you're not going to have that same verbally presenting how passionate you are about your business, bringing out the excitement and smiling in your presentations, that sort of thing, and then being able to enroll somebody, right? Meaning to move forward with you in business. I find that a lot of people, if they aren't in a good headspace, they're going to talk the person out of the sale. Unintentionally.
I've seen that happen. I've had it happen to myself. I've probably done it myself too, actually.
Exactly. So our media
if there's a
training
fear, if you have any fear
Yeah.
around what you're doing or how you're talking or whatnot, yeah, that's what will happen.
Yeah, and the other person will know, consciously or unconsciously, right? And then that's where the asking for the sale, for example, comes from too. It's that lack of confidence, not just lack of skill, is where often entrepreneurs don't ask for the sale.
Right.
And why would somebody say yes? You haven't even asked them anything yet.
Right. They don't know what to say yes to.
Exactly. So the selling on the spot media training package has and deliberately starts with mindset training. And actually, I'm going to ask you to speak just briefly. Don't tell them too much about it, but you have been through it with us recently. So what would you, in just a couple of sentences, say about the mindset day only?
I would say that it's 100% necessary. You cannot get to delivery and whatever you want to say, whether you're presenting your product or your service or you're pitching it, whatever word you want to use, you cannot do it like you just said effectively when you have any kind of blocks going on. And blocks are things like fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success, fear, whatever. So I would say that if you don't get your mindset in order, I'm not sure. I know myself, I don't think I could be successful because for me, I need to be authentic and I need to be vulnerable. And I think that the other thing that, was an aha for me in the training is we all have our own whys. And you said this a little bit earlier. And the why that we have, you're right. A lot of people go into business for themselves because of maybe a why that might even have some attachment to some pain in their past, right, or in their life, or just something they want to change or whatever. But it's unique to you, right? And nobody else has that why. And you have to tell it. You have to talk about it. You have to be vulnerable. You have to share it. And if you attach it to what you're doing in your entrepreneurial journey, people will listen to you, or they will listen to you, and then there'll be the people that it completely resonates with, right? And I always say you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person if you're being authentic. So that to me is all mindset, and yeah, that's a big piece of the training that we're going through right now, and I would highly recommend it to anybody.
Thank you.
Especially, probably, well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm going from my own perspective. I was about to say especially new entrepreneurs because I'm new and I'm kind of, clunking through this new part of the journey. But I suspect that people that have been in business for years would be experiencing maybe the same things.
Yeah, I would definitely not just say new because it's anybody with any type of block.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I went
basically all of us, right?
Exactly. I was a student of Forbes's also because I knew what personally my issue was money related. I have no problem sharing that. In regards to a cap, there's a cap that I have reached and I've not gone beyond. But
Interesting.
for me to get past that block then would help me earn more money. But to me, that represents more people I can help, more people I
Right.
have helped. So I
Right.
wanted to look at, where is my block? Where am I holding myself back, and why? And that
Mhm.
is absolutely what you get from the mindset training. I'm going to call it mind blowing or game changing
Yeah.
on
Oh,
day one.
yeah. Phenomenal. I mean, think of a word, right? Yeah. Yeah. It
And
was
then, of
interesting.
course, that leads into the second day, which is the pitching.
Yes.
I do the air quotes because that's selling on the spot marketplace. We deliberately call them presentations and never pitches. And Forbes calls them pitches, and that's fine and great. Like I said, we mean the exact same thing.
Right.
And again, her style and my style complement each other all the better, of bringing, again, how to verbally put a presentation together, but care about everything that is seen, whether it's here online in this little box,
Yes.
or when one-on-one in the room with each other again. And right, it's the emotions that you're putting into it. You had already mentioned the why do you do this business? Convey that with the other person. It
Mhm.
makes you
Mhm.
real, that makes you human, that brings
Mhm.
that connection, that rapport, that makes it far more interesting than just talking about features and benefits, and
Right.
and then asking for a sale. That would be, somebody could buy from your competition then instead.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is I was talking to somebody about this morning, actually at my gym, the woman who owns the gym, like everybody buys every single day, basically, right? We buy something like sales make the world go round. It's not a bad thing. There's this stigma attached to it sometimes. And people buy from people who they know, like, and trust, right? And so one other thing I would say about the media training that I'm getting from it is, you're right, like the whole world is online right now, right? Zoom went from 2 million to 25 million users in 2 days, and it's probably even more now, right? I mean, it's amazing they haven't had more problems technically, but anyway, we're online. And I think you just said it. You just said it. I thought it was interesting that maybe some of our licensees will go back to live. Some, like in my world, we had to pivot 100% online at Arbonne. We did live events mainly, right? They were about 70%. I don't think we're going to go back to that because people love it. People love our events online because they're in their home, they're in their jammies, they're having a glass of wine, they're learning about what we do and the products we offer. And it takes a half an hour and they're loving it. They don't have to get in their car and drive anywhere. Nobody has to
Exactly.
host and all the things, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But yeah, we have to learn how to get people to know, like, and trust us pretty quickly on this media uh, platform that we're all on now. And I think we're going to stay on for quite a while. So that's another huge value add of this training, as far as I'm concerned, is that, because I don't think this is going away.
No,
And
I don't
you'd
think
be
this is going.
surprised how many people don't even know what's going on around them here, right? And they don't really care and they don't understand. And I was speaking about it last night saying, guys, I can tell within 10 seconds when I get on a Zoom call with someone how successful they are. Or I would guess, and I bet you I'd be right.
That's right. Yes.
So just
Everything
things
is a
like that, all
tell.
those little tidbits you pick up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you've learned that.
Yeah. Yeah, so many learnings.
And meanwhile, the
Okay,
media
so
training package is far more than that. You're in the journey right now. You haven't even
yes,
completed
exactly.
it
I'm
yet.
only in it. I'm not even halfway through it yet.
Sure. That's awesome.
Okay, so tell me, what would be one tip you would give a new entrepreneur to help navigate those early, long, sometimes difficult days? What would that be? We've talked about that maybe a little bit, but is there one sort of tip that would try to keep, I guess you could say, the balance or
Sure. I'm still going to go back to
sanity?
that
I don't know.
answer of getting into action, right?
Mm,
Because it would be easy to think, well, I'm new, I'm going to sit at my desk, I'm going to plan something, I'm going to work on something, I'm going to put it on my website. And those are small actions, but make sure that you're always in action in regards to finding customers and clients. You
mhm,
need that
mhm.
cash flow coming in at all times.
Right.
That should, if you're the entrepreneur or the solopreneur, then you are the salesperson and the CEO and the
Mhm.
bookkeeper and the everything,
The
right?
marketing guru, the social media guru.
Exactly. So I certainly suggest having a sales goal daily and a
Mm,
plan towards that, whether it's email marketing, whether it's social media, or a combination. I would recommend of all of them, but that you're continuously looking for new prospective customers and clients, and
mhm.
then continuously having conversations with them, in which case you can close business, because if you don't have income coming in, you're not going to last long anyway.
Right.
So looking at that, structuring that in your day, and that even if fear is a factor, do it anyway.
I'm so happy that you said that, because I think that well, especially in my world, which is network marketing, right? Like we call them income producing activities, same thing,
Yes.
right? Like, and you can get so bogged down in a day and not do one income producing activity. You can take this training, you can read this book, you can, all the things, right? And those are easier to do usually. So
Well,
I'm
and that's
so happy
because
that you said that.
we need to be a combination of the visionary, the manager, and the implementer.
Right.
Right. So you can't just be planning and managing everything. You have to implement certain things as well.
Right. Right. And with no income, we have nothing. Right. So
right.
Yeah,
that's where businesses fail and why so many of them fail.
I think you're right. 100%. Okay. So my last question, I always end interviews with, tell us what you're most proud about in your entrepreneurial journey so far.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say, what are you most proud of? And my kids would have been my answer.
It can be that.
Well, I could weave them into my answer, actually, because I've always called them my best cheerleaders. They're
Yes.
always rooting for me, and I love celebrating my successes with them.
That's good.
And it's funny because when the selling on the spot marketplace model became a licensing or a franchising model just last year, actually, this is our 1-year anniversary this week.
Wow, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. So I was texting the kids because they're adults and they live long distance from me. And so I was texting them saying, when I signed the first licensee, and we're like celebrating the first licensee, especially because they were in the United States. So we became international on the day one of the licensing. And, a week or something goes by and I sign the second licensee, because the whole point was I built up some interest announcing in advance that the licensing model was coming out. And so therefore I had a lot of people applying, and therefore the first 7 or so were within days of each other, which is really exciting. So I'm texting my kids going, licensee number 2, and then I would name the city, and then licensee number 3. And so the kids are
awesome.
Amazing cheerleaders. And at the same time, I think COVID, of course, we all know what it's done dramatically for the entire world in regards to health, and putting that aside, for business, like you've said, we're online, and for me, business has been booming. We're thriving in the online platform. So I'm bringing that up because with my kids, I'm like, do I text them this? How many celebrations do they want to hear? Because right now we have a lot of amazing things going on. And I actually have to put it into perspective for them as to why this is exciting, because it's not the same world that they're living in. They're in their 20s, and, happy mom's happy.
Yes.
They're happy moms having success.
Yes. Yeah.
So for example, I put together the collaboration with Forbes Riley, that became the 4th division of Selling on the Spot Incorporated. They clearly understood that was a huge milestone. She's a celebrity. She's
for sure. That's like, I've known her for not known her, but years, like seen her on TV, right? I saw her with the juicer. I saw her spin gym. I saw them all. When I saw your connection, I went, wow, okay, this is big. That's what I said to myself.
That was an up level, right? There's an example of an up level.
Or a huge collaboration for sure, right?
Yeah. And then you weren't with me the other day. We were at Selling on the Spot Marketplace, and I actually dropped some even more news.
Did you?
Because yes, quite frankly, there actually is the birth of a 5th division already.
So you've dealt with this block, and look at what's happening, Jane.
Exactly.
Look what's happening.
Exactly. It's why limit yourself. So Selling on the Spot Masterclass will be launching very soon. It'll be launching.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, September 2020. We're just putting together the details now. I always mean the team and I when I say we.
Yes.
So yeah, very excited.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Very excited to be offering more training, and again, a whole masterclass for the community, for the entrepreneurs and business owners, your viewers that want to be a part of the Selling on the Spot global community as well.
Well, all I can say is obviously, well, first of all, I can see it on your face, but second of all, you obviously have a huge amount to be proud of,
Oh, thank you.
your business, right?
Thank you.
And
Yes.
you just have this aura of joy around you, which is so
Oh, yes.
nice to
Thank
see.
you.
Up against your red curtains, right?
Yeah.
I can see it.
That's
I
the
can
branding.
exactly, but I can just see it around you.
Thank you. Thank
Anyway,
you. Yeah, we've done a lot. We've worked hard. We've worked diligently, get past any challenges again with optimism
yeah,
and, just pushing forward and being in action, whether there's fear or not, whether there's challenges or not, I don't call them problems, they're challenges, and we just move forward. And again,
yeah,
we're growing and growing, caring about serving our community, because again, it is about serving the community and the demand that they have for more
mhm.
learning, for more leadership, for more events where they can also ethically, efficiently, and effectively sell at.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jane. Those were all my questions. I hope this interview provides some insight to help all of you new entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs out there. I can't see how it wouldn't. I mean, you gave us so many great tidbits. That was my goal: tidbits, tips, pros and cons. And I think you definitely covered all those. So all I would say to everyone is, keep at it, go after your dream. Remember, we can all do hard things. Yes, entrepreneurship is hard, but it's so rewarding. I mean, just like the way Jane just answered that last question, you can see she's worked at this for years, and now that, she's seeing all this beautiful growth coming in her business now, and it doesn't happen overnight. I would say that for sure. So if you hear somebody say, oh, you're going to be making six figures in 6 months, which we hear a lot in my industry, it's not true.
Not likely.
Well, I guess maybe there's a few, right, that do, but it's, an effort-based business, and what you put into it is what you get out of it. And that would be the same with anyone, right? And, all journeys, whether you're in corporate or entrepreneurship or whatever, are hard, right? Life is hard. We're humans. So, but I know we can all do hard things. And I really, really appreciate you sharing with us today.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so thank you so much, Jane.
Sure. Thank you. If I could just add, if anyone is looking to reach out to me, you can find me as Jane War or Trainer Jane. And of course, our website is sellingonthespotmarketplace.com. You can find out about the mastery program, the marketing program, the media package, or the masterclass, all on that website. And of course, on social media as well.
Yes, definitely go check it out. Honestly, you guys, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. You will find something that's right for you at this point in your journey of entrepreneurship.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you, Jane. Have a great day.
You too.